Israel, the Times of Israel. Again, the Times of Israel. They reported a few days ago the strikes, Israeli IDF forces, they struck targets to free their hostages. The strikes targeting the areas from where Hamas operatives were opening fire were aimed at protecting the rescue forces and the hostages. So keep that in mind. It was reported where? An Israeli newspaper. Now take a look at this particular clip from Mehdi Hasan, how he is dealing with this hypocrisy of this congressman. Obviously, he did not tell him on his face, shut up, shut your mouth, you're lying. No, he did not. But I'm putting this word because this is exactly how he felt, I'm sure, and how we are feeling, especially myself. I feel this guy is lying and he should shut his mouth. Let's take a listen first.
The other week, we saw 4 Israeli hostages rescued from inside of Gaza by an Israeli military and police operation, returned to their families. A very good thing. President Biden, Secretary of State Blinken, National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan, all reacted with praise, with celebration. None of them, in their initial responses, had a single word to say about the over 200 Palestinians reportedly killed, over 700 injured in that rescue operation, many of them innocent women and children. A lot of people have been asking this for the last 8-9 months. I'm sure you hear it in your constituency. Do Palestinian lives just not matter to the modern Democratic Party?
Oh, I think that's a horrifying statement. Let me acknowledge let me acknowledge the 38,000 human beings killed
just
in Gaza,
a question.
the 1,200 Israelis, but particularly the innocents. To me, it's all the same. They're human beings. I'm appalled and disgusted. First of all, there are Americans being held hostage. Let me change the lens for a moment. I believe, if anything, it has been the United States and the Biden administration should have been the foremost responsibility to extract our hostages, our nationals. I think there are 6 or 7 still, we don't know even if they're alive. So the question is, would we undertake an effort to extract American hostages, 2, 3, 4, 7, if we knew 200 civilians would be killed in the process?
What's the answer?
Boy, that's a tough, that's a
tough question.
That's a tough question. If you're the leader of a country, absolutely.
You killed 200 people to save 6.
Mehdi, look at first of all, I'm the son of I'm a Gold Star son. I lost my dad in Vietnam. One of the most despicable, I think, wars of the United States has ever prosecuted. We've killed hundreds of thousands of innocent people over the years. We continue to. Look at what we did in Japan to end a war. These are philosophical questions that most Americans would never want to be faced with.
But you're a member of Congress, right?
I'm a member of Congress.
You wanted to be president.
Yes.
So let me ask you the straight-up question.
Let me answer your question.
Please.
I believe, as the President of the United States, his or her obligation should always be the safety and security of Americans first. It does not mean dismissing other humanity. But in the case of hostages, when it comes to this, and we've tried this before, and we've seen carnage. The fact of the matter is, I think we should extract. And by the way, if that means there are civilian deaths as a result, unfortunately, that's, I think, a cost.
Well, the cost implies there's no other choice. We, of course, know that there was another way to get the hostages out.
I have empathy.
No, well, hold on. There's another way to get the hostages out. We got over 100 hostages out in a deal in November. You could have got Benjamin Netanyahu blocking another deal. But just I want to be very specific. In your view, is killing 274 Palestinians, including many children, an acceptable price to pay for the freeing of 4 Israelis?
Like I said, I don't. You want a clear answer, and you want to make this black and white.
Is it an acceptable price to pay?
It's an unacceptable price, but I think it's a price that has to be paid.
Wow.
So, if you're saying that to get free people from the clutches of horrible captivity, hostages, people possibly being abused in captivity, to free them, you have to pay a price, right? It's a horrible price. Does that ratio work the other way? How many Israelis can Palestinians kill in order to free Palestinian detainees who are currently being tortured in Israeli captivity, some of them being raped to death, according to the New York Times last week? Can they kill 200 Israelis? Hold on, let me finish the question. Can they kill 200 Israelis to free 4 Palestinians who are being tortured in an Israeli prison?
I think it's a question that I'm sure Palestinians are asking the same way as Israelis.
But no, you answered it. You answered it for Israel. I would like you to answer it in reverse.
Let me just clarify something you just said. You said Palestinian prisoners are being raped to death by Israeli soldiers?
Yes, this is a report in the New York Times last week.
Okay, I don't believe that to be true. Nonetheless, the question.
Okay, so he is basically defending Israel at this point, and he is even questioning in an indirect way the authenticity of this news of these hostages being killed. So, as I said in the beginning of this video, that this was reported actually in the Times of Israel, their own magazine, own newspaper. This is what they're saying. Look how they're hiding. They're trying to hide it, but they couldn't. By the way, guys, the time they mentioned about the casualties, 210 people according to them, it was more than that, it was almost 300. It was at the very bottom of the report. So in the beginning of this report, you read how many hostages were killed, how many innocent civilians, Palestinians were killed. You will not find them until you scroll all the way down. This is where I found this. So then they reported Hamas government media office said at least 210 people were killed amid the operation. The IDF acknowledged that it killed Palestinian civilians amid the fighting, but it placed the blame on Hamas for holding hostages and fighting in a dense civilian environment. In other words, what this report is suggesting, even though they acknowledge, they admit that yes, there were casualties, hundreds of them, but it was all Hamas. So we did not kill 300 innocent civilians, we killed 300 terrorists. For them, there is really no difference when it comes to killing. We just want to kill. So and then we call it, we have killed Hamas terrorists, even though they have killed innocent Palestinian. Now take a look at this rest of the video from Mehdi Hasan.
One-year-old detainee said the interrogators made me sit on something like a hot metal stick and it felt like fire. He said another detainee died after they put the electric stick up his anus.
No, it's repulsive.
This is an Israeli dungeon that CNN and New York Times have both reported on. UN investigators. So to free people from that prison, can you kill lots of innocent people according to the logic of the raid in Gaza?
What I'm trying to say is, if you represent the Palestinian people, you represent the Israeli people, we look at this quite differently. I don't want to
I know you do, which is why I'm asking the question, Congressman. I understand that you see it differently. A lot of people watching at home say, why? Why aren't all lives equal?
They should be.
But they're not.
But they are not, absolutely not. Mehdi Hasan is pressing him for an answer. He is dodging the question. He is always coming up with his own excuse. Oh, this is because, we are Americans, so we had to free American hostages, so we will do this. Oh, this is about how you represent the Palestinian. If you represent Israeli, it doesn't matter. So in other words, when it is American hostage or Israeli hostage, it is, it's okay. There's no problem to kill as many people as you want. But when it is done to Israeli hostages or Israeli captives or Israeli soldiers, oh no, that's a big red flag. That is terrorism. So we have the right to kill as many innocent people as we want to rescue our hostages. You cannot even touch one of us. This is the double standard they bring all the time. Now, this congressman, he's not just the first time who completely destroyed or ignored, I should say, this kind of claim that the numbers of coming from Palestine is 300 people, or that they are being raped and tortured and being put in detention center and all those things. There are a lot of other congressmen and women. And what is even more appalling? What is even more appalling is that a lot of these congressmen and women, they are now saying it is okay to kill and they should die. I mean, this guy, I would compare him with other people as somebody who is really gentle. He at least said, no, all lives should matter, even though he didn't mean a word. But at least he said that. But a lot of these congressmen in the states who are Zionist, pro-Zionist, right-winger, they say, oh no, we don't care. You go and kill as many as you want, as many as you need to free those hostages and all of those things, to annihilate Gaza, to kill all of those people. We give you free license. This is just so repulsive, guys.